Do you ever get into the feeling of disappointment and it makes you stop in your tracks versus motivate you? This episode is all about reframing disappointment so that it can help you with your dance experience versus hinder you. Hello, my beautiful, gorgeous dance baby, and welcome to another episode of More Than Dance. Today, we are talking all about disappointment and the way that the disappointment changes our experience of dance. I'm going to first tell you about a recent time that I was disappointed, and it has nothing to do with dance. It's just getting into the feels. I was really disappointed when I saw Devil Wears Prada 2. I was really disappointed. And I was thinking about that. I was like, why was I so disappointed? Well, it's because I had expectations. The reason why we have disappointment is usually because we have expectations. Now, when you're dancing, there is a lot of things that come up. We know this. There's this race to get everything right and to do everything perfectly and to do everything like the instructor, like the choreographer, or like the person that you admire in class. And sometimes we forget part of learning dance is learning to connect with ourselves more, to make an opportunity for ourselves to move throughout the week, coming out with a certain designated time to be with ourselves in the week. Learning dance is artistic and learning dance is hard. I often run into this situation with my newbies. It's when they're first realizing how hard dance is to learn. And it's because they have an expectation. They have the expectation of, well, I used to play D1 soccer, so I should be able to do this. I have movement, I can do it. Or I used to dance when I was younger, and they might not be taking into account how much their body has changed or the way that they feel about themselves and how that affects how they're learning dance. When they have their experiences and their moments, a disappointment, we know how to get disappointed. I mean, I'm surprised I was disappointed from the movie, but it doesn't actually surprise me that a movie disappointed me. Lately, I feel like movies aren't really that good. I just fell in love with the Meryl Streep character from 20 years ago. I just loved her. I thought she was hilarious and funny. I just loved that's all. So my expectation was to be able to see that and experience that again. And surprise, spoiler alert, you don't. She really wasn't in that energy at all. And it was just I don't know, it was all over the place. At one point I was I don't like this. And I was okay, just be okay. And then later, 5 minutes later, I couldn't hold it any longer. I said, Josh, this movie sucks. And he was I know. So I was oh yeah, it's not just me that thinks it's not good. And the reason why the disappointment came in is because, we had a special moment. We were going on a date. We don't always do that on a Monday night. We don't always go to the movies. So there was other things that we went out of our way to go see this movie. And you might be doing the same thing with dance, going out of your way to go to dance class, to put it in your schedule, to invest in it, get the clothes, get the shoes, get the time. And then you go and you're disappointed. And that doesn't feel good to feel disappointed for something that you're excited about. And I know that you can probably get over it. But of course, if I had to go and see this movie again and again and again, I would start to get really disappointed. And I might just not want to go to the movies at all, right? That's kind of how I feel about Rhode Island restaurants. I don't really feel like going out to eat anymore because that's a whole other story, because the disappointment continues. So how can we take in, and this is a good lesson for myself, how can we take in this disappointment and have it exist whilst also enjoying the fact that we have the ability to dance? And mistakes are supposed to happen. And the expectations can shift from what we think we are supposed to expect to the reality of the learning process. So I think about this a lot, because my students will be brand new. They'll be so excited. They'll be we'll have a phone conversation before they even start. And then they'll begin and they'll be oh my God, that was hard. I'll see them on the brink of tears. And granted, I wasn't on the brink of tears with this movie, but I know in dance, people might be on the brink of tears because it's an overwhelm of, oh my gosh, this is not me. I don't know what I'm doing. It's could this ever be me? That's when the imposter syndrome creeps in. And in that moment, it's hard to argue back with your own self because we're our own self. So we're wow, you're not doing as good as you thought. You didn't get that. Maybe you should ask a question, but it's not time to ask questions. We can't say to ourselves in that moment, we don't have enough practice to be able to say to ourselves, hey, you're doing great. Don't forget, this is how it's supposed to be. This is actually the expectation that it's hard, not that it's easy. And so the disappointment festers and you might leave the class feeling some type of way And if you get excited by challenge, then this might not be the episode for you, because you might just be like, oh yeah, I was disappointed in myself, but like that gave me more ammo. Maybe you're a competitive person. Maybe you get fueled by, I'll never forget when I first started teaching Group X classes, there was me, this very like, I would say like maybe sunshiny instructor, like, you got this, you go. And there was another instructor, and I loved taking her classes too. And there was a lot of people that loved her classes, and she was brutal. She'd be like, you fucking suck. Like you think that's she would kind of like insult like as like she was teaching, and people loved that, and people got motivated by that. And some people get motivated by that, and some people get motivated by the excitable energy and the yay, like you got this. And I mean, there's an instructor for everybody. There's a pot for every lid, as they say. So when you're getting in your feels about how heavy this disappointment feels, you might not have enough courage to be your own cheerleader or to be your own get off the floor, let's go, whatever the case is that motivates you. And this episode is to help you realize that one, like you're not alone with that. Like these feelings are, I've been teaching for over 20 years, and every time that someone new starts dance, we have this conversation that I'm having with you right now, which is, yeah, you're going to feel like, whoa, it's hard. And you're not going to be ready for the kind of hard that dance is until you're in it. And then you learn to expect things to be hard. And then when it's easier, you're like, whoa, like, did I do good tonight? It's kind of like that. And I'm learning how to sew. And it's hard. And the way I am with it, like, I didn't really expect much with this. Like, I'm surprised I'm even still in the class, honestly. So like, I'm not really beating myself up, but I am like frustrated. Like there are moments where I'm frustrated. Am I disappointed? I guess like one disappointment could be like wanting to learn like faster. Like I kind of wish I was like ahead. Like I wish I could maybe be there, but like I know enough to be like, well, that's, I got to go through the motions. I got to go through the lessons. Like you can't go to college and like be a senior. You got to be a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, and a senior. Like you got to go in order. There's no way to skip that. Just as like when we're kids and we're dying to get our license, like, no, you have to be 16. You got to get your license when you're of age. So the same is true for dance. When you're going and you're feeling these disappointments, what if the big shift is, wow, the disappointment, that's information. So what are you feeling disappointed about? Are you feeling disappointed that you didn't get that quickly? Are you feeling disappointment that it doesn't look like it does? Are you feeling disappointment because you realize you have to modify because something hurts? Are you feeling disappointed because you thought that it would feel differently? Dance is so funny because I'll watch videos of myself dancing and I'll be like, wow, that looks so like elegant and graceful and light. And then I'll like think back to that night and I'm like, that didn't quite feel like that. It felt excruciatingly hard and much faster than it looks like. We have this joke at the studio where we do things that are fast, but then when they come out on camera, it actually looks like we're in slow motion. Like we just don't get it. We're working so hard to go from move A to move B that it's like the camera doesn't capture the effort. The camera just captures that we got there. We got the F there. So when you go to watch it back, it's like, wasn't that the night that was really hard and we were like dying? So disappointment is what's going to help you gain more information. And having the conversation with yourself to be your own cheerleader in those moments is the skill that your brain is craving right now. Because how fun is it to have those polar energies? Like I know with Josh and I, like when we're working at home, like I'll sometimes be like, oh, do you want to go for a walk? And he'll be like, I'm working. And I'll be like, okay. And then like later he'll come out and he'll be like, do you want to go for a walk? And I'll be like, yeah. So it's something that's necessary to have contrast in your life and to have moments where two parts of your brain can be experiencing the same thing but different. So when I experience the disappointment that I just shared with you, I also have the awareness to say, yes, and do your time. Yes, and keep taking lessons and you'll be there. Or yes, I know that you want to be there and you want to do it, but this is hard. You were told that it was hard. And if you can stay dedicated, you will learn it. It's the same thing for dance. And I've watched my students transform. I see them transform every day, even from like one week to the other week or one class to another week. There's something different all the time. From 3 years ago to now is a big transformation, but even like throughout the way that they interact with other people, the way that they are learning choreography, the way that they ask questions, these are all signifiers of them having growth in dance. I think one of the biggest things with the feelings of disappointment is to know to not stop. So what I told you before about how Josh and I struggle to find like restaurants that we feel are worthy enough to like go to and spend our time. And we still do. We take that as information. We're like, okay, we prepare ourselves mentally for it and we get excited to be pleasantly surprised. So I'm challenging you to get excited to be pleasantly surprised, because one day there's going to be a moment where you're dancing and it's going to be like, whoa, like, did that just come easy for me? And there could be moments too in the class, because we always have circle time where we share about the class, where someone will be like, that was really hard. And you might be like, listening to people say it was hard, it was hard, it's hard. And then you're kind of like, that kind of came easy for me. So when you're thinking about the commitment that you made to yourself for dance, I want you to also think about how you can commit to yourself through disappointment. And it's very similar to fear, because as I told you in those episodes 28 and 29, someone who's fearless, they don't not have fear. They just know how to take fear with them along for the ride. So someone who's a dancer and someone who is learning how to do things, someone who is lifing, they don't not have disappointment. They know how to take disappointment and bring it along for the ride with them. Because disappointment can actually bring up other feelings. It can bring up feelings of sadness, frustration, like you're not good enough. It also brings up grief in a way, because you're grieving a version that didn't happen. There's a great episode 87, when grief is sneaky and how dance can help. I feel like knowing that something is grief is helpful in itself. So knowing like, hey, you're going to come to class, it's going to feel exciting and amazing and you're going to learn. And also there's going to be moments of disappointment. I think knowing that means that you're also grieving this idea that maybe you could learn dance without disappointment. And when you come to terms with that, your experience of dance is actually going to be a little bit more uplifting, because it's an expectation thing. So it's like, okay, I know that like something's going to be hard tonight. Something's going to be frustrating tonight. And you're ready for it. For whatever reason, when we have this disappointment, we make it mean something deeper, that we aren't good enough, or that we're bad at dance. That's a bad habit that we get to break. And it's like associating too deep of a meaning for something that's so simple. Like, okay, you had a tough time. You weren't processing as fast as you thought. Move through it. You're okay. Nothing has to be perfect here. You're in the learning phase. You're in the learning process. Turn the wrong way, do the wrong move at the wrong time, skip a whole section. Oh my God. I was doing a private with someone the other day and I taught them a dance, and then like I was running it with them. I completely forgot while I was like showing them a whole section, like a whole like 3/8 counts. And I was just like, like I guess I'm early. And she goes, yeah, you forgot like the whole, like, I was like, oh, I was like, yeah, I did. The funny part about that is like, that didn't mean anything to me. That was just like, oh, I forgot it. Let me do it again. What a fragile beginner dancer could think is, wow, I suck at memory. I'll never get it. I always mess things up. I'm not naturally a good dancer. No, it's just like, I forgot. Oops. So have this disappointment give you the expectation of everyone fucks up. Everyone does. It's part of it. It's part of the process. And like have fun with it. Like that moment was like funny. Like I was laughing at like, oh my God, like ha ha ha, that was funny. And you get to be kinder to yourself. And that's the overall goal in dance, is to learn something excruciatingly hard and to also be nice to yourself while you're doing it, and to not beat yourself up, so that you can do it more and that you succeed with all of your dance goals. So I hope that this was helpful for you. And I hope that this helps you to see disappointment in a different way. And if it was helpful, it would mean the world to me if you shared this with a friend, as sharing this podcast is helping someone else on their dance journey. Thank you so much. And I'll see you on the dance floor.